Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Justin87, and today we're going to talk about Ready or Not, specifically the February content announcement that they posted to the Ready or Not community. And specifically, what I'm going to cover is what are the tactical considerations now that need to be taken into account with this new update. So, let's just get on into reading this situation here. So, as we pass the midpoint of February, we're excited to be able to tease some of the content that we've been working on for the past several weeks, including a major new addition. So first thing here, first bullet point is melee suspects. Suspects can now concealed and wield dangerous knives in combat, with more melee weapons to be added later on. With suspects no longer limited to the arbitrary possibility of having a gun or not, players will have to be more careful and aware of their approach. I think that kind of summarizes it right there. So a lot of law enforcement will talk about the 20-foot reactionary gap. I don't know if that's still being taught. That is a consideration when dealing with melee suspects, concealment, and everything else. We already know they like to conceal firearms, handguns, and smaller, like, rifles and whatnot. So not only are they going to have knives, but maybe potentially bats or something of that nature. So that will be a consideration. Also, I'm kind of curious if that's going to be an effect of like what's considered deadly force in the force continuum or not, because as you know, in my instance, and any law enforcement officer can correct me, if you're coming at me with a knife, deadly force is authorized. However, if they're going to add more melee-oriented weapons, I don't know what the force continuum circumstances are for that. Might be the same. But that'll be interesting to see how that plays out with the rules of engagement for the game currently. Alright, next bullet point. Enhanced modding support. We've enhanced our modding support to be more user-friendly in-game. Modded maps will now show up on the world map in the lobby, separately from official maps, okay. And modded maps will automatically generate AI logic without any modder interface necessary. This is good because, as we know, modding can greatly change the way the game is played. From a tactical standpoint, this could change the rules of engagement completely. This could change different tool sets, different team mechanics that you're playing as. For example, we like to sometimes jump into a direct action-oriented military-themed environment versus a police environment, and we'll bounce back and forth. So this is good, as well as, you know, the maps being separate from the traditional maps, so no more having to go to the test map sometimes that's replaced, or certain map replacers. They'll be shown separately. That's cool. And like I mentioned with the tactical space, with the ROE changes and whatnot, gadget changes, that can greatly affect, you know, your capabilities. G36C, new weapon. The iconic German assault rifle has made its way to Los Sueños Police Department's armory, heavily utilized by militaries and security groups worldwide. Now you'll be able to experience it for yourself. I mean, it's a 5.56 caliber, shorter barreled compact version of the G36. So as far as tactical considerations, I mean, that's pretty much it. BRN 180, new weapon. This modernization of the venerable AR-18 has become increasingly popular in the civilian and now police market. Its time-tested design is not only functional, but has a really cool charging handle. Okay, it's a new weapon. Bug fixes and AI tweaks. As with every major patch, we will be issuing fixes for existing bugs and work on improving existing AI to maintain its difficulty while still feeling fair. Alright, so no more Tarkov head snapping. At least that's constantly what they're working on. As far as a tactical consideration, we will see in the future what that actually means in regards to tweaking and bug fixes. So, we expect to push this content to our experimental build for supporters to test on Monday, February 21st, with full release to all players before the end of the month. While the shortened month and complexity of programming and adding melee suspects means February's update is smaller than initially planned, it has helped us lay the groundwork early for next month's update. We expect to see much larger content push in March and look forward to sharing it with you in the near future. We continue to be extremely humbled by the support Ready or Not has achieved. With over 1 million new players in more than 170 countries since launch, we are grateful and ecstatic to keep working towards the future in game and hope to make Ready or Not the quintessential tactical shooter of this era. So this is going to make decisions in regards to overall what I'm seeing here is the big ones are the modding support and the melee suspects. That That's going to greatly affect how teams are going to deal with surrendering suspects in particular and how they're going to react. So, yeah, that's a big change actually if you think about it. You might be more inclined to rope people up as opposed to kind of flowing past them a lot of times, or you're going to have to make sure if you are going to flow past them that someone immediately further back in the stack is going to have to rope them up quicker, because if the whole stack's flowing by them, that's going to spell some big problems. I mean, it already kind of does, but with the added melee weapon capabilities, that's a whole nother ball game in my opinion. So good considerations. I like this update. I think that added an element that you generally don't see in a lot of tactical games. You don't see a lot of melee wielding individuals in tactical games. So this is going to be a very unique experience that a lot of people haven't really dealt with in their gaming space. So I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see how it's integrated, and we'll cover it from there. But guys, thank you very much for listening to my spiel, listening to this video, and I will see you in the next one. Be sure to check out my Nexus storefront if you want to look at purchasing other tactical games. It's in the description of this video, as well as joining my Discord and checking me out. So I'll catch y'all later. Thanks for having me. Later.